presentations are done, I will ask the questions received from the members. Besides the questions which we already received, if any member wishes to ask anything, kindly use the chat box. The panel may answer the question now or may choose to answer later through mail or WhatsApp, as the case may be. Kindly note that all the members will be on the mute mode. Now I request I will introduce today's panel to us. The first speaker is Mr. Suresh Subramaniam. I will uh, give a brief introduction. Mr. Suresh Kumar Subramanian is a science graduate in mathematics from the Mumbai University, post which he became a chartered accountant in 1987. After completing his 2-year stint with one of the big four Deloittes as audit manager, he started his practice in 1987 and is a partner in firms in Mumbai with branches in Hyderabad and Chennai. His clients are international shipping companies, travel companies, IT companies, among others. He is also one of the founder trustees and internal auditor of a popular Krishna temple in Mumbai. His firms handle assignments like statutory internal transfer pricing and compliance audits, taxation for all types of business entities. Their USP is the preparation and analysis of periodical management information reports. He is the chairman for banking and finance of All India MSME Association as well as the chairman of their think tank committee. He was a part of the group which met the Honorable MSME Minister and discussed the practical issues with regards to implementation of CGT, MSME, among others. He had made presentations on the nuances of CGT MSME scheme at the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, Mumbai, on behalf of the AMI MA MSME Association. He has been awarded 7th Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Achievement Award 2019 by People's Art Center, Mumbai. His wife, Mrs. Usha, is the company secretary of a reputed MNC, that is Accenture. They have one son, Roshan, who is doing his research in aerospace engineering, Texas A&M University, in the US, after completing his master's. We are lucky to have Mr. Suresh. Over to Mr. Suresh for your presentation, sir.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I now share my screen. Is my screen there for all? Can we see?
Yeah, it's visible, sir. It's visible. You can proceed, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, friends from the IDEA family and distinguished guests from across the globe. I thank IDEA for giving me this opportunity to present my views on the comprehensive package of 20 lakh crores declared by the government. I also congratulate IDEA for completing its 1 year since inception and celebrating its first anniversary today. I wish that IDEA goes global and expands its reach far and wide in the years to come. Just a minute. Yeah. We are all aware that the 20 lakh crores package that has been announced by the government is a landmark economic package declared by the government of India, and this should give major fillip to businesses across all sectors post the lockdown. This package, as declared by the government, is 10% of India's GDP, and as compared to stimulus packages declared by the governments, it is 21% for Japan, 13.8% for the United States, 10.8% for Australia, 10.57% for Germany, respective of their respective GDPs. This package is among the largest provided by the governments across the world. United Nations top UN experts have hailed this 20 lakh crore stimulus package as impressive and the largest so far among developing countries. In this screen, I have given the breakup of the relief package which has been given. From this breakup, you can see that 3,61,000 crores has been given as is the only outflow for the government. 1 minute. Just a minute. It's clear now?
Yes, sir. You can just
Yeah.
click on the slide, sir, so that it will appear everybody to clearly.
Yeah. It's okay. It's clear now, right?
Please click
use
on the. Please
Yeah.
Sir,
use
you can use the
F5 button is there. F5.
F5.
Yeah. Okay. As I was mentioning, the relief package for this 20 lakh crores is broken down into 3,21,000, which is the actual cost to the government, while the balance 16,60,000 crores is pertains to loan and liquidity measures, and hence hardly bears any cost or cash outflow to the government. As an example, the TDS refunds that has been mentioned in this package of 18,000 crores is actually our money, which is being returned by the government and does not hence have any cost to the government, though it forms part of this package. Now we are all going through very tough and tough times because of the COVID-19, and the lockdown has been initiated by the government. Businesses are shut, employees are working from home, and there is a lull in the economy. The first 28 days lockdown has literally cost 7 to 8 lakh crores for the Indian economy as per analysis. The worst impact of the COVID lockdown will be known once the situation becomes normal, and it may take from a couple of months to maybe a couple of years as well. The government is continuously trying to stimulate the economy by various measures. The Prime Minister has announced the huge 20 lakh crores package, as I mentioned, and 2 weeks back. Let us now evaluate each and every announcement one by one, with a special mention to the schemes relating to MSMEs. The first one is the government has brought in a great change by changing the definition of the MSMEs. The MSMEs now is based on as micro, small and medium. An enterprise is declared as micro if its investment in plant and machinery or equipment is less than 1 crore and its turnover is less than 5 crores. If the turnover increases to more than 1 crore, if the investment in plant and machinery is more than 1 crore but less than 10 crores, and the turnover is more than 50 crores, then it is deemed as a small enterprise. For the medium enterprise, the investment in plant, machinery and equipment has to be in the tune of about 20 crores, and the turnover has to be more than 100 crores. In the subsequent clarification made by one of the senior ministers, Sri Nitin Gadkari, he has mentioned that he will increase this turnover from 100 crores to 200 crores. However, most of you may be aware that there was a cabinet decision that was taken in February 2018, which mentions that, which was only worked on the basis of turnover. In that, the cabinet had decided a micro enterprise will be defined as a unit which an annual turnover does not exceed 5 crores. If it exceeds 5 crores and does not exceed 75 crores, it would be deemed to be a medium enterprise. It will be deemed to be a small enterprise, and for a medium enterprise, it could be more than 75 crores, but does not exceed 250 crores. Now it was 250 crores in that cabinet decision. Now this MSME definition is calling off as 100 crores. Now, though Nitin Gadkari ji has mentioned that it will be taken to 200 crores, we have to see what actually happens. Our association, All India MSME Association, is representing to the government to bring the turnover to the limit of 250 crores and not leave it at 200 crores as he has promised. We are looking forward to a favorable solution to this particular issue. This is very much required because of the fact that if the turnover is not increased to 250 crores, many MSMEs will get out of this MSME definition, and it could not be a great advantage for them. So we are fighting for this 250 crores. That is to bring it back to the status of the cabinet decision taken in February 2018. Now I come to the next one. This I have covered. This is also I have covered in my this thing. And now this is the most important part of which we are looking forward to, which pertains to the 3 lakh collateral-free automatic loans given to MSMEs. Now I want to talk about this, how the 3 lakh crores is going to be disbursed by the government as per what they have said in this particular package which has been announced by Nirmala Sitharaman ji. What she has mentioned is that the loan outstanding as on 29th February 2020, that loan, suppose if it was 100 rupees, a 20 rupee increment to that loan would be given as a collateral free automatic loan for taking care of purchase of raw material, consumables, salary and wages, and any other working capital requirements for any industry. Now this 20% is also having certain limits. Now this 20% can be maximum of 25. As on 29th February, the maximum loan, the loan that will be given is 25 crores. If it is more than 25 crores, it will be taken at 20% of 25 crores only. Number one, and number two, the turnover should not exceed more than 100 crores. These are the two criteria which have to be fulfilled. So this loan is not available across board. It is only available subject to these two conditions, which all of us have to be aware of. Now this, the tenure of this loan will be a 4-year period, and with the moratorium period of 1 year on the principal payment. The interest rates under this scheme will be as it was in the previous case. It will remain at that particular thing. However, there is a cap of 9.25% for banks and financial institutions and 14% for NBFCs. This rate, as I said, will be at the existing rate. This cap is there, 14.5% and 9.25%, as I mentioned. This is similar to what they have mentioned, that they have given. 1 minute, I have to go to this slide. This I have mentioned in my this thing. Now this emergency credit line guarantee scheme is again what I have just mentioned it. This emergency credit line guarantee is based on the 65% of this limit is going to come from CGT-MSE. They are going to get 65% from the credit guarantee trust scheme. So this emergency credit line is going to be funded by a corpus of 41,600 crores, which is going to be provided by the Government of India, spread over the current and 3 financial years. So it is not all hunky-dory as we thought it is to be. Now this is our major this thing. This credit of 3 lakh crores is this is the one which is available for MSMEs. According to the government, about 45 lakhs MSMEs will get benefit of this particular thing. To recapitulate, the amount of outstanding as on 29th February 2020 is going to be taken as the benchmark. 20% of that amount is going to be allowed to be given as a credit, and this credit should be a direct flow into the accounts of the borrower. This is exactly what they mean by automatic. However, we have a feeling that this should be made automatic. There should not be any documentation available on this, and it should not be left into the hands of the bankers, because primarily when we talk about collateral free, bankers have their own inhibitions in giving this credit. We have read the minister talking about it, that the bankers have been asked to be very liberal on giving this particular funding, because this is very, very important in the present times for businesses, not only to kickstart and also the economy to also move into the next gear as it is. This is as far as our your 3 lakh credit is concerned. Now we come to the second thing which is talking about this 20,000 crores which they are talking about is for NPAs. Now any MSME has become an NPA. They are talking about giving this 20 crores as infusion of capital, which they will have to bring it back into the banking business. So by this way, they want to ensure that the NPA that is there is removed from the system. This particular thing is available as a subordinate loan facilities for MSMEs. This again has to be this is going to be supported by 44,000 crores again coming from the CGT-MSE scheme. Then we come to the 50,000 crores of equity infusion. This is again a particular thing. There are so many riders in this. The government feels will infuse a lot of capital into the MSMEs, especially MSME startups. Now, wherever there are MSME startups are there and they are looking for various sources of this funding, they are looking for this particular thing. Generally, a startup, which is an MSME, looks for relatives, friends, and from borrowings for where the interest cost is going to be very high. Now, in order to ensure that that business can survive, even after this investment, even after these borrowings are taken, the government has said, we will give you an equity there, which has a very low cost as compared to borrowings from friends and relatives. Therefore, this should be bringing their business to a level where they can actually take the business to the next level. So this is going to be a sort of a fund of funds which the government is talking about. Lastly, we are coming to what is the global tenders. Now the global tenders, which was earlier there, MSMEs were not able to compete because of bigger organizations were always able to have, they had the infrastructure and they had the fund and they had the power to reduce the cost. So here what the government has done, any tender which is of value or less than 200 crores will only be available to MSMEs. And this is a move in the right direction to boost the MSME businesses. This is going to be very useful. The others cannot, the bigger players cannot participate in tenders of value less than 200 crores. Now I am now going into the most, these are all the major which I have covered at the time that is allotted to me. And I'm going into the other measures which have been taken. Now with regards to MSMEs, I will just quickly run over this thing. The first one is an e-market linkage of MSMEs has been proposed to replace the trade fairs and exhibition of MSMEs. As markets, there will be a lot of cost involved when you're talking about taking part in a trade fair and exhibition. The second one is the center and public sector dues to MSMEs are to be settled as promised by the Honorable Minister Sri Nitin Gadkari within 45 days. The PF contribution to the government. Now here it's a very important thing for MSMEs, that 24% of the monthly wages will be credited to the PF accounts for the next 3 months for the wage earners below rupees 15,000. This is very, very important in businesses having less than 100 workers. So small businesses will find a great advantage in this particular thing, where the 24% of the wages is credited to the PF account directly for people who are earning less than 15,000 rupees. There is one more which regards to advance to workers from the Provident Fund account. 5 crore workers registered under the Employee Provident Fund can get a non-refundable advance of 75% of the amount or 3 months of the wages, whichever is lower, from their accounts. This again is going to help the lower strata of society, which is all as such finding a cash crunch. Now, we are all aware that the extension of due dates for GST monthly filings has been extended up to June 2020. The term loan moratorium has also been extended to 3 months, and we are aware it is extended by a further period of 3 months because the situation is not going to change within the next 3 months. So it is up to it is up to the end of October 2020, the moratorium will continue. Another important thing is the due dates of all ITRs for financial year 1920, assessment year 2021 has been extended from 31st July 2020 and 31st October 2020 to 30th November 2020. And the tax audit has been extended from 30th September to 31st October 2020. Strangely, I feel this 1 month extension is not at all going to be enough. If you are going to file the return in 30th November, asking a tax audit to be completed on 30th September 2020 looks to be a little bit strange. As usual, we chartered accountants will have to approach the government to get an extension, which I feel under the circumstances we'll normally get it. I think I have come to the end of my presentation. I have extended this thing by 5 minutes. I'm sorry for that. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. And I hope I have given a gist of the entire 20 lakh crores, 20,000 lakh crores, which has been presented by the government. Let us see how much each of us is able to get out of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Suresh, for presenting us in detail. I am sure members have noted down few questions, probably which they need clarifications. They will come back to us. And some questions I have that will be after all speakers have presented. we will have a question answer session.
Okay.